Hello, family, friends, followers, and guests. Thank you for dropping in for a moment. The Democrats are fascinating. Chuck Schumer admitted yesterday that they know the Affordable Care Act is unconstitutional. You would question that, especially if you're a Democrat. How could Chuck Schumer say that? The way he said it's important, but there's a basic understanding. It doesn't take much, a little leap before you apply the logic to what he said. That basic understanding is that in the range of judges and their philosophical blueprint, and it goes from far liberal, and the role of the judges, they perceive it, is to interpret the law as opposed to merely apply the law. On the far extreme, on the other end, are the judges who refuse to interpret the law, and instead they apply the existing law. So Trump makes his appointment of Amy Barrett, and now there's going to be some kind of fight over that, where there really shouldn't be one, but there will be one. So what Chuck Schumer said yesterday was that 100 million Americans, the only way any Americans would be at risk under the Health Care Act, the only way, is if it is unconstitutional. So how can he say they're at risk unless he knows that that law is unconstitutional? And he does, obviously. It's not rocket science. I think the appointment of Klobuchar is probably a good move for the nation. There are those who are concerned about the fact that she's religious and Catholic. I had a client, his name was Mike Dow, D-O-W, and he was charged with a felony custodial interference. And factually, under the laws of Oregon, he was not guilty. But the judge found him guilty, and I really wish I could remember the name of the judge, but you can look it up for yourself. It's real easy. Defendant was Mike Dow, and the case was held up there where they shot Goonies. Astoria. So that's where the case was held. So you can use the search term Mike Dow, and you can find the judge's name. Here's what happened. The law supported Mike, the facts supported Mike, and he should have been found not guilty. To our blanket amazement, the trial was to the judge. We waived the jury because we thought that Mike thought the argument would be more sophisticated than a jury would probably be able to handle. So after the judge found Mike guilty and they're hauling him back off to jail, and he's been found guilty of a felony, the judge tells me he wants to see me in chambers. Mike's interpretation of the law was the accurate one. And we had a standing objection to the trial based on jurisdictional issues. Mike's claim was that he was married under the Old Testament law. He had a video of it. He had all kinds of witnesses that the children were the property, that in the event of infidelity, the children were the property of the one who was true to the marriage. When he divorced her under the old Mosaic law, the property of the marriage, a child was property in that concept, belonged to him, so he could not engage in custodial interference. It's as simple as that. And the judge recognized that law. So now we're in chambers. And here's the thing about Klobuchar that's different than this particular judge that I was in front of. The judge I was in front of told me in chambers, he said, I'm Catholic. He says, I can't accept that personally. I ruled against your client. He says, I know you'll win on appeal, but I'm going to make him go through it. He says, I don't think he's got the money for it. That was a Catholic judge. So now we're going to put a Catholic on the Supreme Court. I don't think in her case it matters that she's Catholic. She will put the law first. She will support your Bill of Rights. She'll support you personally. And when you have a magnanimous law such as the Health Care Act that basically steals from everybody and keeps other people from doing and performing in their constitutional belief system, it's unconstitutional. Chuck Schumer knows that. Otherwise, 100 million people would not be at risk. I think Amy Klobuchar has demonstrated over and over again in her rulings on the law that she rules on the law and not as the Catholic Church would otherwise try to dictate. All the rest of the Democrats know as well that aspects of the Health Care Act, if not the act in its entirety, are unconstitutional. And it's the Democrats who put those 100 million people at risk, because they're the ones that are responsible for passing an unconstitutional law, and they know it. So that's how simple it is on this Sunday morning. I hope each of you, as you start this next week, have a great time. I'm meeting with a friend to talk legal issues, something I don't get to do very often, on Monday, and I get to talk constitutional issues with a developing friend on Friday for dinner. And he promised to buy, so that's going to be good. I hope this week is as great for you as I expect it to be for me. And until the next time, you all take care. Be safe.